All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAHSHI'S, Ba'ashim Kakadash, that belongs to the apostles of GMS, and sincere Shalom to the brothers out here pushing this truth and sincerity, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. So I got pretty much, I would say a small post from RT on YouTube, talking about fuel shortages and inflation, and was asking, is this the 1970s again? And it says, amid the queues at petrol stations and talk of rising inflation, everything in the UK feels a little nostalgic. But it's not even going. That's not even talking. That's not even the only place that's going through that same problem. But it's just happened to hit there a little harder. But it's going to hit everywhere a little. It's going to hit everywhere hard, especially here in Babylon. We done went through a few fuel shortage. Now we're going into a food shortage, and with all the mandates, especially with truck drivers that's quitting because of this, this is also putting food on shortages. So we're gonna have a lot of shortages for a lot of things. Even when it comes to delivering packages, mail. We're heading in that time where there's gonna be a lot of shortages. And of course, he did a clip here, but as I was watching it, and I'm going to play it too, but it just sounds like history repeats itself. Believe it or not, because that's exactly what's going to happen. Especially since when it hits here, now it's all up to what the Lord does. He may make it happen like this again, or he may just fully crash it. We don't we don't see this place standing much longer. But this is going to be a global collapse, especially with the money of this place. Workers are going to be highly short. So I'm going to play a little bit of this clip, possibly the full thing, maybe. And we'll see from there, because I'm going to get some scriptures.
It feels like the 1970s all over again. Energy shortages, inflation, and I mean visible inflation in everyday goods, not just in house prices. Supply chain issues, rising bond yields, volatile markets, social discontent. And we lowly investors peek out from our bunkers and observe that pretty much every problem is the making some short-sighted policy up top, from money printing to a failure to process GV licenses. But we also note that there is little we can do beyond ranting at the neighbours. All we have is the ability to put our own houses in order. So we go back under cover and we take stock. How to navigate what is becoming an increasingly difficult investment landscape. Gold, you've got to own some. But it's gone down again. It was supposed to protect against money printing, but it hasn't. Not for 10 years, apart from a brief surge in 2020. It's the ultimate analog asset in a world where all the value is digital.
And he's highly correct. Gold is the most important currency on the face of this earth. The most important one. And Esau, the devil he is, took the gold, stashed it, and gave us paper and digital. And then proceeds to put a debt on it to keep printing until an economy collapses. That's all this is. It's a printing money scheme. It's a printing money scheme. And the fact that a lot of people is going to witness this collapse, and the fact that they actually put mandates, laws, and other things to prevent people from working by saying that they have a choice when they really don't, says a lot of things. And for the fact that the shortages, that's not only just affecting the UK, but Babylon too and several other places, goes to show you that this world is going into a economic shortage or inflation, because no one's using gold or silver. Everything's backed by paper or digital. And with them, especially when this place goes cashless, everything's going to be digital, which means no one has anything to bargain with. It's just a credit card. So when this place actually crashes, no one's got any money. Money is literally going to be worthless as far as in paper. The dollars is going to be useless. And the more they print, the more the value goes down. So this place does fold, or starts to fold with the inflation and everything. Price is going to go up, which means something that was $3 can shoot up to $20. It'd be a loaf of bread that was $1.75, $1.90, maybe $2, maybe $3 if you're trying to get the good quality brand. And that's going to shoot up to $20, maybe $10, $20, who you name it, because the inflation is going to hit hard. So I'm going to keep going with this.
You never know. You've got to have some. Bitcoin. You've got to own some. Its potential is too great not to. But it's going down, and at current prices, it's hardly the value proposition it once was. That's where the growth is. The scalability of digital is something to behold. You've got to have some tech in your portfolio. But we say it again, at current prices. In the correction of the last week or so, tech sold off by more than other sectors. It looks relatively weak. And what about the semiconductor shortage? That's not going to help, is it? Understand them. Looks like a racket to me. Yields are too low. Only invest in rackets you understand. The base rate is 0.1%. Inflation is 4.8%. They say it's only transitory. But how do they know? I can hear the brr of the money printer from inside my bunker. I can hear it from here. Doesn't a shortage of HGV drivers and panic fuel buying signal higher prices? I think they're just saying it's transitory so they don't have to put rates up. But the negative real yield is closing in on 5%. That's quite something. As Charlie Morris of Fleet Street letter fame observes, inflation expectations are currently at 4.5% over the next 2 years. I'm not sure it's as transitory as they say it is. No wonder bond yields, even in this racket of a market, are spiking. Base metals. It strikes me that base metal prices are largely driven by China demand. The real estate company Evergrande is bust. People are posting videos on social media of the Chinese knocking down buildings they recently built that nobody's using. There are 30 million unused homes, I read. Can you ship some of them over here? The under 40s sure could use them. I'm not.
This is Ecclesiastes 12:3, and I'm going to go back into the clip. It says, the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. And we're seeing it, especially here in this place. Oh, brothers in every place. I'm not just talking about just Babylon, the U.S. I'm talking about UK, Russia, China. We're everywhere. We're seeing it. We're seeing it. What you're seeing, and from what it looks like, is basically another world kicking in, because nothing is the same as it was before. Hell, technically, the world has ended quite a few times, but especially when people was like, "Oh, the year to 2000 is the end of the world." Well, the year to 2010, the end of the world. Well, we see the end of the world every year, technically, or every day at this point, because someone's making a move, someone's knocking down something big, great, something greater and bigger. Laws, not even just the laws. I'm talking about just like everyday living situations get worse and worse by the day, and we're seeing a decrease, or should I say, an increase on hostility, on how everything really is. The prophecies even kicking in faster, and this is what Esau was set up to do, is to quote unquote create this new world order by doing a whole bunch of other stuff, especially when that MOTB kicks in. That's really what it's going to hit the hardest. This is Psalms 143 and 5. It says, "Remember the days of old. I meditate on thy works, and I muse on the work of thy hands." But it says, "Remember the days of old." And you could consider 1970s, or even the time of the stock market crash. You can also consider them the days of old, because it's going to repeat. You're gonna, what, as we say, history repeats itself, and we're seeing a repeat of this place, but in worse form, and it's gonna get really bad out here, because especially when this place permanently falls, it won't be there won't be no such thing as opening back up. Esau may put a few places here and there that is up and running, but for the most part, this place is not opening back up. Thus say Malachi. Thus say the Lord in Malachi 1 and 4, where He said, they should build their desolate places, but I will throw down. And that's the Lord going to destroy this place permanently. But still, going into the video, that you get, like he's saying, that you got all these things happening, and it's just for the worse.
So sure about Chinese construction demand for the moment. There's definitely a structural deficit in base metals, too many years of underinvestment in mining, but the sector is not in what you call a bull market. Energy, it looks good, you have to say it. A bull market is a bull market, and oil is in a bull market. It's up 55% this year. Oil had a great decade in the 1970s. It beat pretty much everything. I'm an oil bull, have been for a long time. But Brent touched $80 this week. It's pulled back a little. There's still room for it to go a lot higher. 10 years ago, oil was kind of normal. It will be again. But there's a lot of noise about the oil price. Things get noisy. It worries me. It means that the bull market's nearer the end than the beginning. Uranium, too, has been good. Many of the miners have just had a 25% correction this past fortnight. Time to jump in? I'm not sure. It still feels too noisy. Long term, yes, but short term, it worries me. And maybe that's the proverbial bull market wall of worry. Maybe boring old UK value stocks are the place to be. Could do a lot worse, but they're not exactly sexy. Which leaves cash. At least you know where you are with cash. You know it's going to lose 5 to 10% of its purchasing power over the next year. It's no longer a safe haven. It's become like a time-dated option. But when everything else feels so shaky, a mere 5 to 10% loss seems like a relative win. Too much money is sloshing about looking for stuff that's cheap, and nothing much money sloshing about. I was a wee nipper in the 1970s, a little boy. I don't really remember it. My old man used to say how hard it was. You knew you had to put your money somewhere, but it was impossible to know where. Sounds just like today. Thanks very much for watching.
So I forgot the main part I wanted to get into that, but I can tell, even from what he's saying, basically the moral of the story is there won't be any cash soon enough. That the dollar is going to crash, and these people don't understand it. It is funny because in the bottom right of, in the video itself, you can see it says money, markets, and other matters. And money ties with markets. Markets ties with other things. Even money ties with other things. Without the money, nothing's flowing. You ain't the businesses ain't going to just work for free. You have a lot of businesses closing, especially primarily grocery markets. If they don't have money, who are they going to buy? Who are they going to buy these uh products from? They ain't just the warehouses is just not gonna just hand them over because, hey, we got none of us got any cash. There would be some type of currency, but not in the way these people think. You had to probably make up some type of currency. Hell, it might even go back to silver and gold because they no one's gonna hand over stuff for free. It's never worked that way unless you was getting into a debt that you might really call free. But even then, you gotta pay that stuff back. So we see the outline of what's going to happen here or how it's going to happen. But these people are so clueless and so stuck into what they're worried about. No one sees what's going on around them. So this is Ecclesiastes. Actually, no, Salakia. I want to get Revelations 11 and 8. It says, "And there shall be dead bodies, Salakia, and their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city." And this could be taken two ways. Whereas there's actual dead bodies into the streets, is when that day comes. And for our people that's literally dead walking around, stuck in their phones, or not for anything edifying, but for the entertainment, which is the distraction. TikTok, anything that's not relevant on YouTube, social media such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. They're the dead ones. Even these people right now that's just so oblivious that, I mean, hell, you got a lot of people that even knows about this and just was like, I'm not worried about it. This is why I need to worry about. I'm pretending this isn't happening because I know that this place is gonna bounce back. But if people don't question whether this place doesn't bounce back, that's what people don't question. Those are and again, those are the ones that are dead. Those are the dead bodies that's just walking around senselessly. This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 4. It says, "And the doors shall be shut in the streets, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low." So that's your businesses, your entertainment, your luxury eating, and plenty of other things that keeps these people in a mindset of forgetting, because that's all these people are out, pretty much out about, is to forget about their problems and actually focusing on their indoor problems. Forget about the outside door problems. We need to focus on these problems, and that's the mindset of these people. Meanwhile, we're vice versa, as far as the ones that's diligently doing this truth. Because how we're handling the outside problem is by telling these people what's to come, what we're doing, which is basically just waking up the hopeful elect by the Lord's will. But these people don't understand or don't want to understand that they just fall in for the trick bag. But that's all I have going into that. So, Lord, this was a little edifying with that. Shalom. That's all I